You know that finish you have in your house that any family visitor, when they come to visit, looks at and says, wow, this finish turned out really nice. That's right. In this video, I'm going to show you and talk to you about 12 finishes, 12 types of finishes that you can have in your house and that aren't that expensive. They're actually pretty cheap for you to have, okay? So you can have total success with the finish and the details of your home's decoration. Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Adipo, an architect and the creator here at Decor, and this video is really cool. This content is really nice because I got a lot of comments asking for this kind of content, these kinds of tips that I can bring to you here. About finishes that you can have in your home without spending a lot. In fact, these are finishes that are pretty affordable and really make your decor stand out. All right? Sometimes you don't notice or remember that this kind of finish in your home makes a difference, okay? And it's really easy, really common to have, okay? So come with me now. Let's check out these 12. I picked out 12 types of finishes that you can have in your home without spending much and still make it look great. The first finish, which I think is amazing that you can have in your home and use for decorating, is having LED lights in your kitchen cabinets. This one for sure. If you have a custom kitchen, you need to have it. Besides lighting up your countertop, it brings a huge sense of luxury to your decor. This is actually a type of lighting finish that's really simple and straightforward. If you already have a planned kitchen and you don't have this LED to decorate that wall, your countertop, your sink, it's very simple to do with just an LED strip, which we know is inexpensive. You can hide the power supply inside the cabinet, okay? For those of you who don't want to see the LED directly, you can put the strip there with what we call a corner molding, right? In the front, either glued or screwed in to hide the LED and only show that wash of light, the reflection, the indirect light. This brings a lot of charm to your kitchen countertop. You have no idea, you have no clue how important this is in decoration. It will light up the countertop, it will be a functional light for your daily work, and it will decorate as well. And my special tip here, especially for you who want to have this decoration, even if you don't have it yet, okay? Or even for you who already have it and maybe want to change it, use cool white light, okay? Kitchen environment, I at least always recommend using cool light temperature for the kitchen, regardless. Whether it's LED strips, ceiling lights, or spotlights, this decoration is really awesome and a total hit. The second finishing tip that will be a hit in your house is simply that trim strip between the floors. Many people know this finish as a threshold, but actually it's very common to use it between rooms, okay? The little trim strip is a finish, guys. That's thinner than a traditional threshold. And it's basically the width of the door. There are projects we do where sometimes the threshold in certain situations is actually better to solve that kind of problem. But for sure, the little strip, the width of the door, imagine when you close the door, you don't see the threshold, you only see your floor. Both those inside the room and those outside. Why? Like I mentioned to you, the baguette is only as wide as the door, usually 3 to 4 centimeters. You have the baguette at the width of your door. So when it's closed, you can't see it. You only see the floor. You don't have that friction. You don't have that separation between your floor, your baguette, and your other room when the door is closed. So make sure the baguette is a finishing touch that really stands out in your decor. It's a simple detail, okay? But it definitely makes a big difference in your decor and your finishing touches. The third finishing touch that I use a lot here in our projects is the gypsum molding. We know that the main function of the molding is to allow the drywall ceiling to expand, okay? To prevent cracks, fissures, and so on. And at the same time, it has an innovative design, giving the impression that the ceiling is floating. If you thought that having a lower gypsum ceiling in your house was simply about attaching it to the wall, know that there's the molding. It serves two purposes that I think are great in decoration and mainly a structural function, okay? It prevents cracks and fissures from happening in your ceiling in the drywall system, okay? Because it will allow your ceiling to expand so that the movement doesn't crack your drywall panel, your plaster ceiling, okay? And at the same time, it also has a design and finishing function, which is really cool. I think it's awesome to have a drop ceiling in your house with a trim. It gives the impression that the ceiling is floating, that it doesn't touch the wall, okay? Obviously, it's a well-structured, well-made, and very secure ceiling. And the trim is part of the design, and its main function is to prevent, cracks and fissures. But it's a really nice finish that I like and always use here in my projects. You guys know that, right? In fact, we even have a course here at Oryx City where we teach you how to make plaster ceilings, drywall ceilings, and several types of decorative ceilings where we use the trim, okay? And here's something interesting. If you want to see how to make a ceiling using the trim, I'll leave a link in the description and also here in the card. Alright, so you can watch this video on how to make a plaster ceiling using the trim. The fourth effect that I think is amazing, okay? It's a really cool, nice finish. It's Marmorite. If you're thinking about a luxury finish, right, that resembles marble and at the same time want to save a bit, Marmorite is a great option. And we know that marble, right, is a luxury finish. You must be thinking, man, Edipo, I wanted to have a wall with a marble effect. I really like those marbles with those effects, with those cool, beautiful veins. Anyway, here's the solution, okay? By the way, there are also videos here on the channel that I'll leave in the description for you, showing you how to do the Marmorite effect, okay? Or maybe you can hire a professional from your area to do it. Why am I telling you this? Besides being a finish that leaves your guest, your friend, your visitor speechless, when you arrive and see that luxurious wall in your shiny room with those wonderful effects that only marble can provide. You can still save money since achieving this effect on porcelain tiles, especially larger ones, is usually very expensive. Okay, depending on it, we know there are porcelain tiles that can cost 500, even 1,000 rays per piece. And if you really do the math, a marble effect compared to porcelain tile with all the labor involved will cost you much less. Okay, in the whole set and basically the same effect, right? In fact, you can even create a unique effect right there on the spot, okay? So here's a finish that's a hit, okay? I guarantee you it's a total success. Especially on an entry wall in your house, a television wall, a panel, a living room wall, or a large staircase wall. I guarantee you it's a total success, it's a perfect finish, and in fact it's a decorating trend. The fifth finish that I also think is really cool, it's having a pendant light over your kitchen counter. Who here has a counter in their kitchen? That counter for a quick snack, right? Notice that pendant lights are a simple, inexpensive decoration, but they make a big visual difference in your kitchen. There are pendant lights that cost 2, 3, 4. Anyway, there are some really expensive ones, but there are also nice pendant lights. They decorate, they light up, they make the space look nice, especially your kitchen counter. It's really cool to have this kind of decoration, this kind of finishing touch to decorate your space. I think using these pendant lights is great. Some people use 2 or 3 over the counter depending on the size, right? On the counter, just 1, 2, 3. Anyway, the amount will really depend on your project. But having a pendant light that, besides serving its function of lighting, will also decorate the space. I think it's great and not expensive, okay? This product isn't pricey. Some models out there are. In fact, sometimes we even recommend them to our clients and they can cost 100, 150 reais, 200, it depends on the model. It's cheap and it's a finishing touch that's really worth having in your home. Guys, let me make a request here now. You who have made it this far following these tips, these finishing touches that I'm telling you about here, subscribe to our channel, okay? It doesn't cost you anything, just click that little red button down below and subscribe. Like this video, leave a like on this video for me, okay? That encourages us to bring more cool content like this one. Giving you decoration tips, helping you avoid making mistakes with your home decor. Bringing you products that you might not know about or sometimes don't know how to use the right way. That helps a lot. Subscribe, like, and comment. It's important to me, Edipo, and to Arc City. Tell us, Edipo, I like this one, that one. Also, what do you think about this or that? Anyway, leave a comment for me so we can have a chat, okay? The sixth affordable and very commonly used finish is the mini spot. You already know the traditional spot, right? But I want to tell you here that the mini spot, besides being affordable, can also be a decorative finishing piece for your ceiling, right, in your space. And it also helps with lighting. Well, first I want to tell you that we usually use the spot to highlight some object, right? On the wall, a picture, a niche, a structure, anyway, something you did on your wall and you want to highlight it. Because usually the power, the luminance factor of the mini spot isn't that high. Precisely because of its size, because it's a small object, right? A simple finishing detail on your ceiling in your decoration, but it makes a big difference, okay? So it's a nice, cool finishing touch for you to have, but its main function is to decorate and highlight something close to it. So keep that in mind, it's an excellent decorative finishing touch, okay? It also serves to illuminate something close to it. But for example, using it as a functional light, I wouldn't recommend that. I can recommend that you use it as a secondary light, an auxiliary light to decorate, highlight a wall or highlight an object. A shelf, for example, where you have some sculptures, among other ways we can use it. But it's an excellent finish, okay? The seventh finish that makes all the difference in your bathroom is having an illuminated niche. I'm sure this is a dream for a lot of people, having lighting in the niche of your bathroom, right? It costs almost nothing. And besides lighting up the niche in your bathroom, it brings an incomparable luxury to your bathroom. A lot of people ask me sometimes, you know what guys? Edipo, having this lighting, right? This LED in the niche can't be at risk of suddenly getting wet, right? Damaging the LED or causing an accident? No, because when we use LED to light the niche, it's usually a specific type rubberized protected, right? And besides that, it stays inside a groove in the niche, completely protected from water. Unless you actually spray water directly there to hit it. But other than that, when you're taking a shower and all, you won't be able to get this LED wet, okay? But it's a finish, it's a type of lighting that gives your bathroom a huge sense of luxury. I've completed some projects here and already showed you this in a video on the channel. Okay? It really stands out. It's a very beautiful lighting, it's an incomparable luxury, and it's a type of finish that I really like, okay? And it doesn't cost you much, alright? Look it up later to see how much just 1 meter of LED strip with the power supply and adapter costs. Obviously, to do this, okay, you need to have planned this beforehand. Don't break the wall just to install something. That will be very costly. The eighth finish, and one you see a lot here on Arc Seat, is the velvet matte paint finish. We know there are, right, several types of paints with some finishes like semi-gloss, glossy, satin, and so on. But the velvet matte finish, guys, is a high quality paint. It gives your wall a luxurious look, and this material is really cool. There are matte paints, semi-gloss paints, satin paints, some with intense shine, and there are even paints with glitter that give that crystal sparkle to the paint. But the velvet matte finish on your wall, when you run your hand over it, you feel that that velvet texture. That's what the paint provides. Obviously, it's not like a carpet, right? We're talking about a velvet-like finish in painting. It's not the same as the velvet of a fabric, okay? But it gets really close to that kind of finish. So I think it's amazing to have a finish like that on the wall of your house, okay? Mate velvet. And if you ask me, Edipo, how can I get this kind of finish on the paint of my wall? There are already some paint brands that you can buy in their product line, okay? You just need to go to the paint store near your house, where you're already used to buying. Say, I want matte paint with a velvety finish, and the salesperson will give you the options of brands that have this type of finish, okay? But I think it's amazing, guys, you have a type of, I'm not talking about colors, color is something else. I'm talking about the paint finish that when you touch it, you feel that velvety finish. And this is a line of paint that several manufacturers have, okay, the colors. For you to choose, but does this color look good with a velvety finish? That really depends on the project. It depends a lot on what you want to match with your floor, with your furniture, right? With the lighting. And to help you, based on that, here on the card, I'm leaving the 5 shades of gray that can help you. If you're considering painting your house gray, I really like it. Behind me are 2 shades of gray. See, I like it a lot. If you're thinking about painting your house in shades of gray, That link on the card will help you perfectly to choose. The ninth finish, as incredible as it may seem and as simple as it is the plaster curtain rod. Always use this finish when you're decorating your house with plaster. For two reasons. First, to hide your curtain rail and also to give the option of bathing the curtain itself in light. Planning to install a plaster ceiling in your house, living room, bedroom, or elsewhere? Remember to consult your plasterer, the installer decorating your home, to leave space for the plaster curtain rail, okay? If you don't want the curtain rail to shine light onto your curtain, that's fine, but just leave a simple curtain rail, alright? So it can hide the track of your curtain if you're going to use the track. If you're going to use the rod, that's fine too, it will be able to hide it. But don't forget, okay? The plaster curtain holder makes a huge difference in your home's decor. It's a type of finish that's indispensable. When you're going to put a plaster ceiling in the bedroom, living room, or even on a balcony that has a glass enclosure, right? Glass. So you can install the enclosure, those rollers, the track, and leave it all built into the curtain holder. This is very important. Don't forget, are you putting plaster on your house ceiling? Don't forget to ask your installer to do the finishing, right? To decorate the built-in curtain holder. And for the 10th and final touch, I'm sure you'll love it, which is simply the light switches, right? Modern outlets. Don't think that the finish of the light switches won't make a difference in your decor. Yes, it will. There are many modern models with very affordable prices, and they can also be a decorative finish for your home. If you've already changed the switches and outlets in your house or apartment, you must have noticed that some prices can be shocking just because of the design of the finish on your switch, the cover plate, the outlet, and so on. But guys, there are models out there on the market available at really nice, affordable prices that can make a big difference in your home's decor. Alright? It's very common for us to use the finish of these white mirrors, but there are wood finishes, mirrored ones. There are all sorts of colors. Some have large keys, or rather large, small, thin modules. Anyway, there's a wide variety of models. These mirrors, right, these finishes for outlets and switches really make a difference in your decor. So do your research. It's a really cool finish that can make a total difference in your home's decoration. So did you like these 10 tips here? These 10 finishes that you can have in your house without spending too much, right? I have to admit to you that these 10 finishes I showed you here, of course, some of them are really expensive, but there are many, really many of them that are cheap. You can have this type of finish in your house without overspending. Alright, so I hope this video brings you a lot of joy, first of all, right? To help you choose a type of finish for your house, okay? If you liked it, give this video a like. Leave that like for me on this video. Subscribe to our channel. It doesn't cost you anything either. Just click the little button below and leave your comment for me. Oedipus, I like this, I can do this, I can do that. Let's discuss it, alright? Comment if you want specific content on the channel for our next video. Big hug, see you then.